This guy was doing a lot of meth. He said it's the best high, especially when it's good meth.
What about heroin?
I don't know.
Inlaniggi's done both, and Inlaniggi swears by age.
He says he only went from weed and meth, man. And he said meth was kind of enough for him. But then, yeah, it was the hardest thing ever to come off. But what happened was when they beat the shit out of him so bad and burned half of his body when they
drug dealer people?
Yeah, drug dealer people trying to steal his stash, and they left him for dead. And his recuperation was like a year and a half from the head trauma and he says he saw a couple angels, and they told him he was a good guy, and that he needed to change his life, and he did, and he has been sober for like 12 years.
I'm seeing an angel right now. Archangel Austin, you said one of your buddies got smoked in Texas because he had an ounce of weed, and some cartel came in and just shot him dead?
I don't know if it was a cartel, but it was an illegal immigrant from Mexico who was probably like in his mid-20s.
I'm sure he had some association.
Assumably, yeah.
So the full story was you had a buddy who was out there on his skateboard flaunting the fact that he just procured an ounce of weed, talking about it, being stupid. He goes back to his place, he boots up the N64, maybe packs his first bowl, and then an illegal just storms into the fucking house with a gun drawn, takes him out into the desert and executes him.
No, my friend sold weed, he was my dealer. And
so he went out somewhere?
So someone was like, hey, I want to buy an ounce, I'll come to your house. So they pulled up in front of his house, and when he went to their car to give him the weed, they just grabbed him and kidnapped him, basically.
And then they killed him.
Yeah, and they left him in a ditch, and they took his weed.
That had to have been some sort of cartel or some organized drug crime group.
Inside job type thing, yeah.
Possibly,
they had
yeah.
information. They had information.
But it was three, younger guys. It could have just been, money. But, it could have been bigger than that. My friend, a lot of dealers, they talk shit to each other, and sometimes you get
turf wars. Look. Just don't sell drugs, huh? Just
agreed.
Don't sell drugs.
Any profession where you have to worry about ending up in a shallow grave, it's not worth doing.
No.
So that means drug dealer,
prostitution ring,
hitman for the mob.
Yeah, hitman for the mob. Even just a gopher for the mob. Just don't work for the mob, dude. You know what I mean?
Hitman's kind of respectable. That's pretty badass.
Well, if you're a hired hitman that doesn't never comes into contact with whoever he's dealing with, and you have to you're very well trained, and maybe you were an ex-Navy SEAL, sure. Other than that, you probably shouldn't kill people for a living. It's probably a terrible way to live.
Could you take a life, Leo?
I don't think so, man. I don't think so.
What if somebody was inside your house?
Yeah. In that way, I think I would be fucked up by it, but I think if I had to defend myself or somebody was in my house and they were threatening to kill me, yeah, absolutely, I think so. Yeah, I could do it, but I wouldn't feel great about it. There was a guy that came. We learned tactical gun training from this guy that was an LAPD legend when I was doing stunts, and he told us that 99.9% of the cops that ever shoot and kill someone, no matter it was an MS-13 guy, a guy trying to kill him, a guy that had just killed a woman and was fucking her dead body, if you kill a guy, whoever the fuck it is, 99.9, almost every single cop has to be in therapy twice a week for life. Most quit the force. A lot of them commit suicide. There's a high suicide rate in cops. No matter who it is you killed. About less than 1% handle it well, can have lunch the next day. It's either you can have lunch right after or you're fucked for life. That's what he said.
I feel like I would be able to do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think most people would think the same. You're a complete sociopath.
You are a blood, so.
And you are
I'm in a gang.
You are in a gang.
And in initiation, we had to do something similar. I didn't take a life.
Was it the flashing
somebody
light
got
thing?
stomped real good. What's the flashing light thing?
That used to be the rumor that was in the initiation. If you were a blood, you had to go in your car, turn your headlights off at night, and the first car to flash his lights at you, telling you to put your headlights on, turn around and go try to kill him. Follow him. Yeah. Pretty fucked, huh? Nice old lady. Nice little...
There's no way that's true.
That was the 100% factual thing that I read. When I was at UCLA, this was in some book this gang member wrote that was very popular at the time. I'll get you the title.
There was a fat guy who I went to high school with. His name was Leo, too, incidentally.
Nice.
You would disown him if you knew him, just for sharing your name.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
He was fat. He had a flat top. But he became a Norteño right after high school. And it was in his Facebook bio. It was on... That's all they had back then. It was Facebook.
Right.
He was psyched. And I don't think he had to play the chicken flashing lights, go kill that person game.
The Norteños are notoriously violent, too. I remember there was something happened when I was up in school at Cal State Stanislaus. Turlock, California had some norteños close by in Modesto. But yeah, I mean, not every gang's going to be like that. But we're also not talking about current gang. Like when we're talking heyday, like in the heyday when it was easier to get away with crimes in the 90s. It was easier to get away with crimes in the 80s. A lot of the times they have I read somewhere that they had the no person involved thing, where cops, if there were something happened in Compton or something, they would never even investigate the crimes. And I experienced that because my friend, who I played baseball with in college, he got shot at a party. He was a Latino guy that was dating a gang member's ex-girlfriend. So they had a fight. He had a fight with a guy at a party in high school, this gang member. And he left. And then his girlfriend, it goes, oh, he left, my ex left. Just come back. So he comes back. The guy's waiting there for him with a gun. Shoots him in the back of the head in front of 60 people. Nobody ever heard of the investigation. Nobody ever heard of the guy. The guy apparently fled to Mexico. They never did anything. No, we never heard any details of them trying to do anything. Nothing. He wasn't a gang member. The guy, my buddy Neville, he was just a nice ball player. He had long curly hair. He was not like by any means like a shaved head, like dude that was like had been initiated in a gang. He had no tattoos. He was just
with a name like Neville, you can't be that gangster.
Yeah, exactly. His name was Neville, and he was a nice guy from Nicaragua, and just he was his mom he had a single mom, and his brother's doing really well though. He turned to his brother.
We were all worried,
but anyway, no. What I'm saying is, that I've experienced that, so I'm pretty sure if they were in Compton and they had to do this thing, and it was just they killed a couple of minorities, maybe they didn't investigate the crimes, and that was a thing they could get away with.
We should